right, so I got a bit of a trip planned this week, and my seat, this is the second generation of seats in this thing. I think this is out of an 03 at some point. Got it out of the pick apart several years ago, but she's going south like all of these do eventually, and you know, then they start to sag over to this side and you end up sitting cockeyed and your back starts to hurt. So we are going to pull this thing out, and then we're going to come over here to the junker and swap it with this one, which is a little bit squishy on this edge, but in much better shape than mine. A little cleaning and she'll be effectively good as new. One of the nice things about this is it doesn't have a damn armrest. I never use those armrests and they just fall apart anyway. So that's what we're going to do. The fun part with this one though is you've got your TP55 screws in the front and in the back. And you can't get to the back unless you can move the seat forward, and since the seat is electric, we're going to have to hope my battery box has got enough oomph to allow this thing to move when I hook it up to the battery. It should, but that could be entertaining. So we will see what we need to do with that. But first thing we're going to do, start pulling this seat. And with that, again, you need the special Torx TP55. If we can read that, I'll link it in my Amazon affiliates page. Not much to it, but a regular Torx does not work. And I may even, when I have this out, I may even vacuum this poor thing, since I quit smoking my cigars, because my wife quit smoking cigarettes. I can probably keep it a little cleaner than this disaster is currently. So I'm going to get things set up, and then we're going to get this taken out. Now these bolts go straight through. You can see the ground through the holes. So obviously my truck, I'm lucky, this thing's never been in the salt. But this is another reason to make sure you have that special TP55 bit, because you really want to have a good bite on these if these are rusty. The other thing you can do, let's see if I can get you underneath. There's the one I just took out. I don't see any access to the other one, but you may be able to come under here and spray some penetrating lube on it if you can. This is kind of right under the door, and but yeah, so they go in, they just go straight through and are exposed. So the back side of those bolts could be really rusted if you're living up north in the salt belt. Anyway, so we'll get both of those out. And yet again, Ford loves its fasteners. It only needs this much, but we've got this much sticking out into the damn salt. So here's the fun part. To get to the rear ones, especially on this truck, since I have no rear door on this side, you got to push the seat forward. Once you can do that, it's not bad. Then this one's kind of strange. I'll show you why. Because it has one of those over there, standard But it's got, I don't remember whether that's a 15 or what, but it's got a nut and a stud on this side. So sometimes you'll find one with a mix and match set, but otherwise pretty straightforward. Yep, still only needs a 1/2 inch of screw. Gives you 2 inches anyway. All right, now we got to go get a socket. Yep, she's 15 millimeter. Okay. Oops. All right, 1 second. Once you get that done, then you can come under here and unplug things. This is the seat belt, and this disaster is the power to the rest of the seat controls. And this is a cobble job that I'm really not proud of now that I look at it, because the 97 has different plugs for the power than the later models. And so when I switched over, in order to get power to it, I still had to have the obviously had to get power to it. It's just as easy as hooking up a hot in the ground, because that's all that is. But I needed to put the old 97 switch in, or the old 97 plug in, so I didn't have to cut up the factory harness. So, once you get that done, the seat is ready to come out. Not much to it. And then one thing you will notice on these is the seat belt goes with the seat. So that's something to think about if you're getting these out of a junkyard. Typically I've seen that all of the seat belts are the same, but you may want to make sure that the seat belt comes with it, or you may end up having to switch this on your seat to keep your old seat belt latch. And this is what I'm talking about. This was the good armrest on this set when I bought it. So they just fall apart. I never use them anyway. So those new ones without them are going to be beautiful. And now that we got this disaster uncovered, I'm going to go get a vacuum and do a little bit of cleaning, because why not? So now that that's a little better, we're going to go take ye olde jump box and go bring some tools and see if we can disconnect the other one without too much drama. As you can see, all of these are right through to the ground, except that stud, which is weird, because again, I think this is a 97 only, where they have that stud in the back, rather than 4 bolts. I don't really know why, but such is life. Anyway, off we go. As I showed you before, the front two are fairly easy, and so we'll pop those off, and then I'm going to try to hook the battery up and get the seat to move and try the rears. Funny thing, by 2003 Ford smartened up, started using smaller bolts, although it still is the same TP55. Got all sorts of crazy things going on. But she does not want to move. So what I may end up doing is finding a plug under here and just forcing it with some 12 volt and some ground and see what we can do there. So maybe I brought the side-by-side over here and connected it to the connected it with some jumper cables, just to give it a little bit more oomph than that box has. We'll try that. Okay, well, I got all the lights on the dash, but no joy. I'm gonna do a quick fuse check. Once I figure out which one's which. All right, well, here's a hack job. And viola, or voila, so Mom didn't yell at me. That's nice, all the motors work. Don't know why they weren't otherwise. It's probably a blown fuse somewhere. But that should be good enough. And it is. Sinker. Something to consider. Charge your damn battery box, because this would have worked, but my battery box died. Guess I don't use it too much anymore, and it just from sitting went erp. So, but the green wire under here is the positive, the black wire is the negative, and that's how you can power that seat forward if you got yourself a 12-volt source. You just need some really small alligator clips. But now that we got that, the rest of it, as you can see, this one here, like not like mine, it's got actually 4 of these. If it actually had the nut like mine, I could have gotten it out. Because this, because it's on an angle, I could have gotten loose and taken that bolt out. I just couldn't get the tool into this nut, into this screw. If it had the nut like the 97, I could have gotten it off, even without moving the seat. So, whatever. Anyway, now we're going to do that, then we're going to get the seat over to the other truck. So under here doesn't look too bad. A little bit of flaky paint. I'll wire brush that off and hose everything else down with some solidifying lubricant. But it looks pretty good. Nothing major. Pretty similar to what's under that one. But since those wires are all hacked up, and these aren't, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my junker and cut the harness off of the floor, and then just wire it in here, cut this harness out and wire it in here, a couple of butt connectors, and then we can keep it looking halfway decent when we change the wires. Because even though this seat only uses the black and the green, there's a whole bunch more wires in that harness that I guess for other options that I guess some other seats may have had. But anyway, so that's what we're gonna go do. I'm gonna go grab a pair of nips, go get that wire, and then we're gonna start reconnecting it in here. All right, so now we have the correct plug with the green and the black wires hooked back up to my green and black wires. Still have the seatbelt plug. And now we're going to... guess there's nothing left but to put the seat in. Plug it in and see if it works. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, so there it is. All buttoned up, tied down. Everything works just nice. It's a little bit narrower than the other one was, but it's comfortable. Oh, I guess the other one had lumbar support too. I just never used it. She's good. This one here is more solid than the other one, because my other one had gotten a little loose where it would rock up and down, and this one isn't. So that's kind of nice. A little bit wider here, but nothing out of, you know, the realm of possibility. So kind of just shows you it's not difficult to change these seats. If you've got a truck that's in good shape, other than that seat that's falling apart like they always do, you can find a decent one somewhere. Just got to have the right tools to get it out, that TP bit, and maybe a 15 mil depending on what year it is. and then you just got to make the wiring work. It's just, for the most of these seats, are going to be positive and negative. The green wire is going to be your positive, black's going to be the negative. Just hook them up and it's going to work. What I'll probably do is I'll save this seat, because these motors are hard to find and kind of expensive, and 97s are freaks. You can't get those at all, but the 98 and on are all like this. And so if I ever have one of those motors die, I've got spares here, because they just come apart and you can swap all the motors around however you want to do it. So, well, I appreciate you watching. The tools I used will be shown up on my Amazon affiliates page, and I do appreciate all of the support. So hope that was helpful. If you got any questions, feel free to put them below in the comments. Talk to y'all later.